Last season didn't go to plan for Cardinals women's volleyball. They lost their final 6 conference matches, missing out on the CCIW conference tournament altogether. But the moment that final match ended, their only focus was on the road ahead and the 10 months they had to prepare for this year.
They created a mantra that was eyes on the rise, and they really wanted to go to battle and go to war within the weight room, off-season trainings, spring ball, and then they continued that over the summer. But when we get into the gym, we really wanted to ensure that they were having fun. And there was a lot of moments throughout the beginning of preseason that when we were looking around in the gym, we were like, wow, they're battling, they're competing.
We always say after our season's over, the next season starts right after that. So we really hit the ground running in the spring. We had our eyes on the rise as kind of like our saying, and that was just us getting in the right mindset. We're focusing on the next season ahead, and we're trying to improve on what we did the year before.
We knew that we were losing our only senior. We had one senior this year, so we needed a lot of the girls in the junior class and even the sophomore class to step up and become those leaders and role models for the girls coming in. So I think everybody knew that they had a role to play, and I think they did a really good job.
Losing only one senior meant the Cardinals returned almost their entire roster, including most of their key contributors. Added to the mix were a couple of notable transfers. First, junior outside hitter Aidan Brown, who came from McPherson College, where she had dominated at the NAIA level.
So I actually am roommates with my twin sister. So she came here before me, and I was 9 hours away from home. That's just something that I wasn't really comfortable with at first. So I was like, I need to be with my sister. So she went here, and I looked into the program. I talked to Kyle on the phone, and I just completely knew I wanted to come here. And it was perfect.
We had our first FaceTime phone call, and from there we kind of clicked. I think the best part of her situation was she came in January of last year. So she was able to experience the entire spring ball with the roster and really kind of form that bond with all of our setters and with all the passers and the defenders and really kind of understand our system.
Brown was joined by Taylor O'Malley, a Naperville native who moved from Division I University of Illinois Chicago and brought not only top-level experience, but an extremely versatile skill set.
We actually had her coming in as a utility player. We knew that she was going to be a contributor at some facet, and we just really needed to find where she was going to be best suited. We saw her play in our exhibition matches, and we had her set 2 sets out there. And so I'm we really liked her in right back. So she excelled in right back. So then we were able to work in the 5-1, and she was a phenomenal defender, a lot of digs per set, really strong in serve receive.
The Cardinals got off to a flying start. After winning all 3 matches at the Dubuque University River City Classic to start the year, they won 4 of their first 5 conference matches and sat at the top of the CCIW women's volleyball standings at the halfway point of the season. The experience the team had playing together and the determination they'd had over the past year were clearly paying off.
We became really close and best friends through playing with each other, and the new girls that came in, we welcomed them with open arms. So I think just our pregame talks in the locker room, running out to the court before every game, we were just ready to support each other and have fun. So I think just those little moments before games were the most important.
Throughout the competitive nature we had in the gym, we really tried to identify what each of the roles were for the student athletes. Beginning of the season, kind of where they were all at, and then also we wanted to track the development and growth of everybody on the roster. So we had mid and late in the season, we started going a little bit deeper and deeper into the bench, and the women were ready to go. And that's what I was most proud of throughout the season, was all of our student athletes were ready to go and to go compete and play at a very high level.
Being able to trust each other right off the bat, because we already had that experience with each other, helped a lot. Because we didn't really have to adjust that much to playing next to a different person, unless it was our 2 transfers or our freshmen coming in, but we kind of already knew each other and how we play, so it was easier to build that trust right off the bat.
Coming here, I had one goal, and it was to fall in love with the game again, and I fell in love with the game again, fell in love with my teammates more than I've ever been in love with a team before in my life, and the coaches and just the atmosphere here at North Central.
Their next match was home against Carthage, and with a win, they would solidify their position as the best team in the conference. However, during the 3rd set while leading 2-0, setter Maddi Barickman suffered an ankle injury. Carthage went on to win the next 3 sets, and Barickman would miss the rest of the regular season. While a setback both for Barickman and the team, it created an opportunity for other players to step up as the conference tournament approached.
Being able to sit on the bench, I kind of saw the game in like a different way than when I'm actually on the court. I was able to like kind of see it like slow down almost, because I feel like on the court, like you have that adrenaline and everything is like go, 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 go. Sitting on the bench, you're also close, where I was sitting, I was also close to the coaching staff and kind of seeing like what their thought process was like throughout each point, which is something you don't necessarily catch when you're on the court.
The most important thing that our philosophy is we have a next player up mentality. Whether it's an injury or academic day, like whatever happens, we need to make sure that our first string, second string, third strings are ready to go in and play. And Anna did a phenomenal job coming in ready to go. COVID year, when we played in the spring of 2020, she was our starting setter running a 5-1, and we were 3-0 during that time frame. So the team had all the confidence in her stepping into that situation.
Every time we were in the gym, we played intentionally, and we knew that no matter who filled that role or would come off the bench, so like we needed to have confidence in them. Just having confidence in the girls and whoever was going to be on that court.
Thanks to the Cardinals' strong start, they still qualified as the 4 seed in the CCIW tournament, meaning they would host a quarterfinal match against Augustana after missing the tournament entirely the year before. The Vikings would win in 4 sets, ending North Central's season. There was still honors to be had though for the Cardinals, as a program record 3 players were named to the CCIW All-Conference teams. Maddi Barickman and Aidan Brown to the first team, and Emily Stallman to the second team.
It's really special because I came here, again, trying to find the love of volleyball again, so I wasn't necessarily shooting for that goal. Everybody is here for a common goal and a purpose in life. Like, we're here, we don't get paid for this, so we're here for the love of it.
It means a lot to me, especially just because of, like, I know all the work that I've done to get here, but also like it shows a lot with our team. Like, we had 3 all-conference selections, which is something that North Central's never really had for women's volleyball. So I think that was really special, and it kind of shows like how good our team was this year, even though we didn't win that first game of the conference tournament, but we hosted it and we kind of proved to people like what we could do. And so I think that meant a lot to me, just to see that not only my success, but like everyone else was also succeeding too. So it was awesome to see.
For the second consecutive season, the Cardinals roster featured only 1 senior, which will allow continued continuity into next year as the players look to continue to build up the program. They can now look back and see how large a step they made in the last 12 months, and now the goal is to progress even more in the year to come, led by what will be a robust senior class.
The only way that we can go is up from here, so I think everybody wants to continue to grow and get better than what we previously have, and I think this year showed that we can do it. So just keeping that all in mindset and pushing forward to do better in our upcoming years.
Back in my old school, I kind of had to pull a lot of weight, but here everybody's just pulling their own weight, and you trust the person to the left and right of you, and it's just something I'm not really used to, but I adapted well, and I couldn't have been more thankful coming into this program.
While there will be consistency on the court, there is change coming on the sideline. After serving as assistant coach for both Cardinals men's and women's volleyball since 2019, Naperville native and North Central alumna Sydney Cheatham Carlone will take over as women's head coach next year as the 10th coach in program history.
We're at the point now where we are able to compete against and now beat nationally ranked opponents. And pretty soon we're going to be on that stage. And the women have that experience now of playing against high-level teams across the country, but more importantly, of being at the top of the conference and being in the discussions at the top of the conference. And that is the new standard now that we have set for our program, that we're here, now we go to our next goal. And that's very important for the student athletes to continue to work and continue to believe in the vision and to be 100% all in. And those are going to get us in the program to where we want to be.